Did Mo Salah and Egypt leave it a little bit late to wake up?
They gave it a good go, 15 minutes. I'd say about 15 minutes, Claire, where they woke up. That was a great save. Keeper was going the wrong way, Beach. Just readjusts himself. We didn't see that from Egypt for 75 minutes. Finally looked like they thought, listen, we don't want to go to extra time here. Not with our age profile. And they were what we thought they would be for the whole game in the last 15 minutes.
Shay, will they be carrying that momentum now into extra time?
Well, they finished well, but that's an unbelievable save. It really is. I think Kevin played it down a wee bit there. You know, the mad thing about
goalie's going to play it up.
Possibly, yeah. But the mad thing about the Beach is really had nothing to do the whole game, and it's just such a key moment and a massive save and a brilliant save, because he sort of comes for the cross, and then he goes, I can't get there. He readjusts and just to get the reaction to get it up and over the bar. That is one of the best saves I've seen in this tournament, and the importance of it, of course. They're going to extra time and penalties now, or extra time at least. We'll see how that goes. But Egypt only woke up in the last few minutes, it seemed. I mean, Australia were the better team for most of the game. I'm not sure what the manager's saying to the Egyptians now, but they have to do better. They have to maybe carry that momentum, as you say, Marie, from the end of that game, but they left it very late.
Australia have youth, they'll have the legs, they'll be well set up for extra time for more minutes.
Interestingly enough, it's the first time both teams have ever gone to an extra time in a World Cup game, Marie, but I would agree with Shay, Australia were the better team. But how often have we seen it in the tournament when it goes to the hydration break, whatever gets said, and certainly in that second one, in the second half there, obviously the Egypt manager, Hassan, got stuck into them and they came alive really for the last 10 minutes. But let's be honest, they were dreadful. Like you said about them waking up and Salah waking up. Salah, we didn't see anything of him the whole game as well. He was terrible, bar that one cross near the end, Marie. So I thought at the start that Australia would be the better team, and it's not surprising that Egypt were so poor, because I think they are an average team. And if you look at the group that they came out of as well, one of the worst groups that we've seen in the tournament. It was absolutely dreadful. Iran, New Zealand, Belgium as well. So I felt Australia were better placed to give us a better performance, and that's what we've seen. But only for the save at the end, to be fair, as Shay said, that's what kept them in the game. But I think Australia were the better team overall. That
attack, though, that Egypt have, Kev, they're starting to click.
Yeah, he brought on Hassan as well, who was the one who had the shot. This was after the header. We thought it was going to be the last chance for the header. Hassan, last kick of the game. Fabulous block. Suter got the block on it, just stuck his long leg out. He was good when he came on. Just added a bit of something different, a little bit of liveliness. They just seemed so... And we were watching Mo Salah very closely, and he put one fabulous ball in, what we know he can do. But in general, Marie, he's not that old, he's 34. He just jogged around and didn't seem to be that interested in really getting involved in anything. Possibly injured, but like he can still look to get on the ball. You know, he doesn't look like he wanted to really get on the ball, do anything of note, doesn't look that bothered. Just a weird look about him. Possibly, listen, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt of the injury.
I think with Salah as well, when he's playing for Liverpool, he's surrounded by top players. And obviously it's a lot easier to get him the ball. This is a very average team, and that's not making excuses for him. I thought he was so poor, but the team is poor as well, and it's very hard to function in that if you're kind of reliant on them.
They're looking to him, like they're looking to Salah. He's our legend. I don't know how many. He has 119 caps and 68 international goals. They're looking to him like Argentina looked to Messi. You know, they're looking him to be the one to do something for us.
Yeah, but Argentina are a better team that will get Messi the ball as well.
It's not him looking to them, though. It's them looking to him. Like, Mo Salah's able to take people on. He's able to drop a shoulder. He's able to score goals. Like, he does individual...
I don't think he is anymore, Kevin.
Up to a year ago he was. This season...
But this season has been... So all the evidence that we've seen off this season has played out in front of us here as well. He's been non-existent.
That Australia team are hard to break down, though, Shay. Like, that's been a theme with them throughout.
They are a hard team to break down, Marie, and they're also good on set plays. You know, they scored, we mentioned at half-time about set plays, and a brilliant delivery from O'Neill got them back in the game. I know it was an OG from Hanny, but I think the big man in shots, Harry Suter, he was in there, and he was causing carnage. Harrington as well at the back. They've got so much bigger height advantage. Look at Salah looking up to him. In fact, you know, if they can win free kicks, long throws, set plays, corners, whatever it might be, I think it's a real weakness from Egypt and a strength from Australia, and keep an eye on that one in extra time as well.
Okay, well, it's set up to hopefully be a great extra time, and who knows, we might get penalties as well. Penalties, Shay Given, as a goalkeeper, if you're just brought on to save penalties, potentially, is it difficult?
I don't know if it's difficult.
Done?
I feel actually sorry for Beach taking off. I look back through the games in this World Cup, and he's been one of their star players, the goalkeeper, and the save we spoke about earlier as well, Marie, was an unbelievable save. I know Matt Ryan's a very extremely experienced goalkeeper, and all that, and I think he was the captain at times for Australia, but I don't know. I don't think I would have changed it. I think when you're a rich vein of form, Beach, I think he's really hard done by to be taken off in the last minute or two. Why not leave the younger guy on and give him the opportunity to make them saves, because I think he's in his flow and he looks the part, if I'm being honest. So it's a kick in the teeth for him. But if Matt Ryan sort of steps up and saves a couple of penalties, then what do I know about goalkeeping? Kevin Doyle.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's the one chance. Your goalie, like he had to watch and sit through that game just like us. And he's thinking, I get the penalties, I have a chance here to be like an outfield player, to be like a striker. Saving a penalty for a goalie is their one chance to be a real hero, the limelight. And he looks like a good goalie. Made a great save. I'd imagine he's full of confidence. He'll be taken off when he has his chance of... Like, he must, maybe, right, we can't see training, maybe do penalties in training, he's absolutely useless. Yeah. Who knows? The other guy is maybe exceptional at penalties, but still...
I think the famous one a while back was remember Tim Krul came on from the Netherlands.
Was it?
No, I think it was the World Cup as well, and he came on and I think it was Van Gaal was the manager, and stuck him on and he saved 2 or 3, and he was like, the manager's a genius, and Kevin's maybe right as well. Maybe they do penalties and training, and Ryan...
Yeah. Maybe this was always the plan.
There is precedence for it, as Shay said, so you have that one that worked. I remember an FAI Cup final here as well, Sligo Rovers, and that worked for them. But I'm with Shay about the goalkeeper. It undermines him a little bit, especially he was brilliant in the game. Pulled off the match-winning save kind of towards the end as well. And he's been brilliant in the tournament. So I don't like it.
Given the better quality in the Egyptian attack, does that give him a bit of an edge?
Well, Marmoush's gone off. You would think he would have taken a penalty. Salah had a poor game, but he'll obviously step up and take a penalty. It's basically as we were at the start, Marie. It's very much 50-50 because it was a poor game the second half. They're obviously looking back on penalties there now, so the amount of research and data you have nowadays, and laptops on the line, and fellas swallowing laptops and all sorts. So it's just, I think when you look at it, it's very much a 50-50 now. And bringing him on, you'd nearly, as Kevin said, in terms of what they're seeing on the training ground or whatever, they really fancy their chances with him in the goal. So there's a bit of pressure on him now as well.
Yeah, and Kevin, I think I was probably a little bit optimistic, thinking we were going to get a good extra time. We didn't. It was very flat.
No, it was like they both were delighted and just wanted to get the penalties. It was very flat. It's just poor quality. Summed up the majority of the game, Marie. Probably what we knew beforehand but didn't want to say, to be honest.
Yeah, and Shay, look, heading into this now for both of them, look at Mo Salah there. We were watching him throughout the game. He hasn't had the greatest season with Liverpool. He hasn't had the greatest World Cup so far. If he could get that penalty, if he goes to take one, what would it mean for somebody like him?
I think he's only got a 70% scoring record for Egypt when it comes to penalties as well. So decent, but not prolific. He won't want to miss anyway, because he, as Kevin said, I think he had a quiet night, Mo Salah tonight, as did a lot of the attacking Egyptian players. As Alan said, Marmoush is on the bench. He won't be on to take one, for example. That's how poor a game he had as well. So, if you look at the call, yes, I'm not trying to polish it and say it was a good game. It was an average game, if I'm being brutally honest. But if you look at the two teams, I do believe that Australia had the better sort of play, had the better chances, and especially they were dangerous in set play. So if you look on the balance of the game, I would like to see Australia going through only on the back of that, because they actually did have a goal. I was disappointed, if I'm being honest, with Egypt tonight.
With the manager Popovic, one thing I do like, and I know we're saying like the decision, it's a brave call, though, Marie. Like, we're the World Cup. He obviously played for Australia. He's the manager now. If this goes against him, he's going to get some stick. But I think that's a brave call, and I'd like to see the fact that he's willing to make the brave call. Like, we criticise managers here for not making big calls at times, and this is a big call for him to make. I hope it pays off for him, and I do agree with Shay. I think they were the better team throughout. Big Suter towards the end as well. Shay did a piece on the lad Harrington, only 18, but to be fair to Big Suter beside him, I thought he played really well.
Yeah, it's such a difficult time for both teams. Shay, how do you feel as a keeper in these moments?
It's interesting that they've given the armband to Ryan as well, even for the last couple of minutes. Suter had the armband on before. He's actually passed it over to Ryan, so it'll be interesting to see what... I hope he does something good here, Matt Ryan.
Okay, so there you have it, Egypt progress. We're going to be keeping an eye on the winners of Cape Verde and defending champions Argentina. They will face whoever comes out on top in that one next week in the round of 16. So we did get a winner, Kevin. Was it deserved for Egypt to come through that?
I thought Australia and their hard work and their organisation, I thought beforehand Egypt would win, but after watching the game, I wanted Australia to win. Listen, they sent the centre-half up to take the first penalty, and as he was walking up, I was saying here to his centre-half, put it over the bar, don't let centre-half take it. So Germany, and centre-halves have a disease of penalties of striking it high and wide. And then I couldn't believe they sent the 18-year-old centre-half up, the 18-year-old kid, like all the...
Where's all the strikers, Kevin? Where's all the strikers? Where's the attackers?
During the game, they didn't really have a whole lot up front, but just an 18-year-old and all the experienced players they have there, you don't send... An 18-year-old kid shouldn't be the one having to go forward and take an important penalty. There should be, the manager or whoever experienced the team should be saying, you know what, sit this one out. You're 18. You don't need this pressure. Unfortunately, he put it over the bar as well.
Shay, are all these things decided beforehand, even if you look at the decision to swap the goalkeepers out?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it was a good one now when you look at it. I don't think Matt Ryan got near a penalty. We talked about Beach, had a brilliant World Cup, and I still feel gutted for him as much as anything. He didn't get the opportunity to make these saves against Egypt, but that's the manager's decision. Alan mentioned before, the Popovich will get credit if it comes off, but I think it'll be the opposite effect now because Matt Ryan did get near a penalty. I suppose you could argue, where's the attacking players? Two centre-halves missed, Harrington and Suter missed, but then Rabia scores for Egypt and Hassan scores the winning penalty for Egypt as well, so they're both centre-halves as well, so the argument sort of balances itself up a little bit.
Alan, we're seeing Mo Salah there.
But they're very comfortable.
Celebrating.
Yeah, it's obviously a great moment for him. Not a huge contribution, but he did step up and take a penalty, Marie. I thought he got lucky with the penalty as well. I couldn't believe he tried to just dink it down the middle. But going back to the manager and Popovich and the decision, and I said it was a brave call to make, now it looks like a daft call to make, Marie. And to be fair to him, as we said, in terms of the training and whatever was going on, but the lad Beach was having a great game, and he's had two great games before this in the group stages as well, and he pulled off an unbelievable save. And I wouldn't mind if Matt Ryan even got close to one of the penalties. He never even looked like saving a penalty. So it'll come down on the manager now 100%, and rightly so, and that's the game we're in. Results business. If he got it right, he's a hero, as we said. If he gets it wrong, he's going to get slaughtered. And
Kevin, look at Mo Salah there, he's very emotional. Yeah. We wondered what it would mean to him, probably last World Cup, coming to the end.
They're into a last 16 of a World Cup now, and this getting knocked out tonight is seen as probably for Egypt disappointment. Getting to a last 16 and possibly getting knocked out is success. They're going to be playing Argentina in the next round.
Or Cape Verde.
Possibly. Argentina or Cape Verde.
On that, they've only ever got to a last 16. It was 1934, Marie, so that's maybe why you're seeing some of these scenes, to be fair to you.
And yeah, I don't think it's a squad. From what we've seen so far and watching tonight, lads, I don't think it's a squad that's going to go past the last 16.
They're certainly not growing into the tournament.
No, and Salah hasn't grown. We were talking about Salah there. He hasn't grown into it. And, we didn't see anything from him tonight that you'd suggest he's a lad of 34 with loads of miles in his leg and still fresh to go on and play another 4 or 5 years and possibly get a move during the summer to a big club. He played like a fella who sort of resigned to going into semi-retirement.
Sorry, I'm just going to say, surprised Salah's gone down the tunnel there. I know he's gone down the tunnel of tears and stuff, but the rest of the team's still out celebrating, and they're obviously clapping their fans and what have you, But anyway, I thought he was poor tonight, Salah. Disappointing, because he's gone through, and you could say he was lucky with the penalty, but you could say he's a player full of confidence as well, because he stuck it down the middle. He got 3 options as a taker, right, left, or straight down the middle, and that's the decision he made, and he scored. So you can call it brave or whatever, but I'm just surprised he's not out there celebrating with his teammates. He's gone up the tunnel.
Probably minded his hamstring.
Possibly. Maybe you mentioned that, Maria, earlier at half-time, whatever, and said maybe he's not 100% fit. We don't know what goes on in these training camps. Like he could be 70% fit. He might be saving himself for the next game. But I do believe even if we're a little bit lucky to go through tonight, penalties is a little bit of a lottery, I believe. But I think, as I said before, over the course of the game, I thought Australia were probably the better team and created probably the better chances.
Well, they've a very good attitude, Australia, and that was something that was commended heading in there. You can see the emotion for the players as well. They'll be heading home. But it was just a case it didn't have enough quality.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. And both teams you could accuse of that, to be fair, Marie. Like, we've gone through 120 minutes, very little quality in the game, and very few clear-cut chances, a lot of scrappy play, set pieces that we spoke about at half-time. So, yeah, you could accuse both teams of that, but certainly Australia, and I suppose it was their honesty as a group, good, honest lads, work hard for one another. We spoke about the collective unit at the start of the match, which has probably got them to this point. I felt they did enough, though, in the match to win. I thought Egypt were terrible, I really did. But Egypt are not the force they once were, Marie. African football, like the Morocco have overtaken them, Senegal, these teams, you know, like they're far better to watch and better. Salah is coming near the end now. Marmouche had no impact. It's still an achievement, you have to give them that, because as I said, the only time they've ever got to a round of 16 was 1934. So here we are, like nearly 100 years later, and they're after achieving that. That's why maybe you see so much emotion and them dancing on the pitch. But they won't go any further in the tournament, if you like. Like, we're about to watch Cape Verde and Argentina. If they're to play Argentina, and I don't want to say Cape Verde haven't got a chance just yet, I think they do. But if they were to play Argentina or any of the better teams, they won't cut it.
Yeah, they're still in it though. So Mo Salah, the Egyptian king, sends his team through to the round of 16, scoring a pretty impressive penalty in the shootout. They saw off that Australian challenge, and they will play the winners of Argentina and Cape Verde. A huge moment for them to get through to that round of 16. Kev, overall though, they have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, like, we were quite sort of bullish about their attacking threat and what they could bring to the game, and they didn't. It was Australia who looked the more dangerous side. Barring a final ball from Australia, they created the better chances. They got, I think, more intense, more energy, more enthusiasm for the match, more togetherness. Listen, they're the ones gone home though, aren't they? Egypt are through, but I think on the balance of play, Australia deserved it in the 120 minutes. Didn't get it because of that small bit of quality. Egypt had the quality, they didn't score either. Just a small bit more coolness and calmness in penalties. Both teams played, like, when it got to the last, the extra time, both teams seemed to just accept we're going to penalties and be happy to get there.
Yeah, ultimately though, neither of them really had much of a cutting edge in that final third. Egypt got the early goal, but then Australia got that equaliser.
Yeah, I mean, we said before, or half-time, about the set plays, long throws, set plays, and they definitely had a real height advantage. This was just the fullback, Mohamed Hani. He got a knock right just before the set play. It was quite a bad head injury. You see it around at the back post. He's got taken out pretty bad around the back, and a minute, or it's not even a minute or two later, they won a free kick. I think O'Neill gets taken out. I think there's no dispute that it's a free kick. You know, we'll look at the free kick. We thought there was I think it's definitely a free kick, but O'Neill's the delivery, he gets up to take the free kick, and he puts a brilliant ball in it. It just goes over Harry Souttar's head, but then it hits Mohamed Hani on the head and goes in like an own goal. And we're just sort of putting the two and two together, thinking, you know, has he still been a little bit concussed, because it's such a bad knock to the head. Literally a minute before this, Marie got a really bad knock to the head. And I know he sees it late, because big Harry Souttar just jumps ahead of him, and maybe he's just reacting. You can see his reaction, maybe it's just come off his head. But is there something in the head knock before that, perhaps? And obviously they've conceded a goal. Yeah,
and Alan, that set-piece threat seemed to be the only threat really that Australia had.
Yeah, and we pointed that out at half-time, those long throws, which is fine, Marie, if you have somebody who can throw the ball that long. We've often seen it all season in the Premier League, really. But just on that one, it did look like their kind of best route to goal. And we also highlighted the fact, like, he was chopping and changing Popovic between the two strikers, Toure and Aaron Koundé. None of them really too convincing. Now, they're only young lads, to be fair to them, but none of them really too convincing as being the main number 9, so he was kind of chopping and changing in the group games with them. So that probably was their best route to goal. Now, the delivery was brilliant, as Shea said, from O'Neill, and they got their just rewards. But throughout the whole game, and in fairness to Egypt, I know I've been very critical of Egypt, and rightly so, I think, but just after the hydration break in the second half, they were the ones pushing, and we will see a couple of Egyptian chances, but they were the ones pushing towards the end. Even the lads said how they almost woke up towards the end of the game.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of them chances, Al.
Yeah, just now this was probably their best chance of the night, came straight from the kick-off, and the one player, bar Salah, who you'd wanted to fall to, Marie, Omar Marmouche, he has to score there. Like, a player at his level, the level that he's playing at, the club that he's with, he has to score there. He just kind of gets a toe poke on it rather than with the instep, and it just goes wide. This was towards the end when they were pushing. Now, this was the save we're talking about, Beach. Like, if you're a goalkeeper, and Shay'll be able to tell us better than anyone, but if you're pulling off a save like that, it's like scoring a goal, Marie. Like, it must feel like that, you know, for him. So for him to be taken off then, I'd say, and we saw a shot of him towards the end there, he was devastated and he was crying as well, the lad. So I'd love to get his thoughts on what he's feeling after the game. But these were a couple of the chances where they were pushing on Egypt, and I says it was after the hydration break. And to be fair to Salah, I know we were critical of him as well and he didn't have his best night, but he was involved in 2 or 3 of those little things. He took a penalty. So yeah, maybe he deserves a little bit of credit.
Mo Salah there, very happy Mo Salah. Were we a bit hard on him? Were you a bit hard on him, Kev?
Give him a break, Kev. Give him a break.
No, listen, he's happy they've got to the last 16. Yeah, you would be happy. I'd be quite happy if I was him. We're just used to Mo Salah, the standards he set over the last number of years. Maybe not so much this season, but the quality that you know he has, I suppose we're just spoilt with him over the years, and we didn't see any of that. We haven't seen any of it really in the tournament, and we didn't see any of it tonight. A couple of deliveries, a couple of flashes, but as in individually doing something, he had a chance there on his right foot. Like, when he's on form, he scores that or hits the target, drove it over the bar. But he stood up in a pressure moment and scored a penalty. And as he said, they're making history. They're in the last 16.
He mentioned it there himself, Shay. Like, there is pressure on him, there is expectation. Essentially, he's carrying the team, exactly like Ronaldo and Messi are.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, carrying the country, isn't he, as well? He's the star player. And he steps up, and I think he mentioned maybe it might be his last World Cup there, which was interesting because we spoke before he was only 34. But a Panenka and he wants to go out, you know, in style perhaps because he scored it. But you know, had the keeper stood there and caught it, it wouldn't be much style then. It'd be a different sort of conversation we'd be sitting having here now. But again, he's got the belief and the confidence in his own ability. But yeah, it's a shame I think when top players. I mean, Ronaldo gets mentioned in this competition as well a lot because he's not the Ronaldo of old. Mo Salah's not the Mo Salah of old. So you're like.
But Messi's pretty much like impact-wise, like the Messi of old.
GOAT. Yeah. So what's different? He is the best player to ever step onto this planet, in my opinion. But I just don't think Mo or Ronaldo are at the levels we've seen in the past. They've both been amazing players. Okay,
but let's have a look at some of these penalties.
Yeah. Listen, I know Egypt's 2 centre-halves took it and scored nice penalties, but Sout there, it was a decent footballer, good on the ball. But when I saw him going up, I just don't like centre-halves. And especially the first penalties opponent, I don't like to take it. I see too many centre-halves put it over the bar. And the same with Harrington, who'd had a great game, but he's 18 years of age. I just think there's so much more experience in that team, and you don't need an 18-year-old taking a massive pressure penalty. And I seen it was a good penalty. They win it, but they had 2 penalties to win it. There, you know, there wasn't the pressure on that. Australia had handed to him at that stage. Just on the goalie thing with Australia, even Beach, his presence, he just looks bigger. He looks more intimidating. Going back, I don't know. If it works, it's a great decision. It didn't work, so it's a bad decision. Keeper didn't get near any of them. I just would have left Beach on because when someone's in form and playing well, you're bringing a goalie in who's cold off the bench. What they can do in training is different in a match, in pressure situation, when you've been playing and you're in the zone and you're ready for it and you know you've been in form. I'd be like, Ray, listen, I know we were going to make that decision, but we're going to leave this lad in. Because he's having a great game here. He's kept us in it. So I think if they look back on that, they'll know they wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I'd say the review will be pretty painful.